Okay, Tom, this is how to make the ultimate Neapolitan style pizza. So the first thing you need to do is the day before you want to make some pizza, you've got to make your yeast starter. So you've got to use this because it'll make your dough really nice, and also it'll mean that you can make your dough fully on the following day. So 10 minutes spent here making this yeast starter means that you're going to have your dough ready to use the following day. So the first thing you need is 200 milliliters of water. Tip that in, and then you need 200 grams of 00 flour. I get this from Waitrose. It's only about £1.60. So you need 200 grams of this. Exactly. Try and be as precise as you can, because just a small amount of extra water makes a big difference. Then mix that up into like a paste. Don't worry, this is not your dough. This is just the starter. Trust me, it's incredible if you do it this way. It takes about 10 minutes and then you just leave it. So make a little paste like that. And then you need to add 3 grams of dry yeast. So zero it again. Three grams. Tip that in and give it another mix. And then you want to add 1 teaspoon of honey. Something for the yeast to eat, get started on. Don't use sugar because it'll make your dough go yellow. So use some honey. Now this is your yeast starter. You're going to use this tomorrow to make your final dough, which will be ready the same day. You don't have to leave it to ferment for 24 hours or anything like that. Once you've got this starter ready, you can have your dough ready to use on the same day. So that's that done. Put the lid on and just leave it on the side, somewhere warm. Leave it on the side for a couple of hours. You'll see it starting to ferment and starting to bubble, and then put it in the fridge overnight. And then tomorrow we'll get back to that and I'll show you the next stage. So see you tomorrow. Okay, Tom, so here we are, following day. This is our yeast starter. So it's been in the fridge overnight. You can see that it's really bubbly and fermented. So I started that about 9 o'clock last night. I mixed it all up and left it on the side for about an hour and a half, and then I put it in the fridge overnight. It's now 10 to 10 in the morning, and it's ready to use. So this took 10 minutes to make last night, and it means that today I can have pizza, and I can have it within about 3 or 4 hours. Whereas if you had to make it in the sort of normal method, you'd have to ferment the thing for 24 hours. So the next thing you need is another 200 milliliters of water, cold water. So let's tip that in to our yeast starter. Give it a mix. And then, if you've got a mixer, I've got Madeline's mixer. Pink, of course. So tip your starter into the mixer. If you haven't got a mixer, you're going to have to put it in a bowl and do this by hand, knead by hand, which isn't impossible. I did that before. So get all of it out, because like I said, even a small amount of liquid difference makes a huge difference to your final dough. And then put the mixer on and just give it a little whisk for 10 minutes. Not 10 minutes, a few minutes, just to dissolve the starter. Okay, so next thing you need 400 grams of the same flour that we used yesterday, the 00 flour. So 400 grams. And just add it a little bit at a time. And if you've done it right, the dough should form a nice ball and come away from the bowl in a few minutes. Get your salt ready, 25 grams of salt. I would use sea salt if I were you. Fine sea salt. And this is the time that you want to add your salt. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. That's on speed 1. Now add your salt. Don't add your salt to the starter, because it kills the yeast. So put the salt in. Let it mix. So let it mix for a good 5 or 10 minutes. So this is it after about 5 or 10 minutes of mixing. So you can see that it's in a nice ball, and it's not sticking to the side of the bowl. This is 67% hydration, so it's like the perfect combination, I think, between easy to work with and still makes good pizza. So this is my preferred hydration level, and this is 1 kilo. This makes 1 kilo of dough, which is enough for 5 200 gram pizzas, or 4 250 gram, or whatever you want to divide it into. I usually make them 200 grams, and that makes a 10-inch pizza, which is perfect for the woody, because if you make it too big, then the pizza's too close to the flame and it starts to burn. So I would say 200 grams and try and make 10-inch pizzas. 10 or 11-inch pizzas is good enough. Okay, so that's finished. Let's get this off. We'll move on to the next phase. So this is the next step. So put some olive oil on the table. Make sure you clean it first, of course. Put some olive oil on your hands. Don't use sunflower oil, so your pizza will taste like crap. So olive oil on your hands. Get your dough, and then just spin it around a little bit. You're trying to make a ball here. So make a ball. It's not heavy kneading, I'm just turning it over. So make a ball. There's a big air thing there, I'm going to get rid of that air. So there's a nice ball. Coat it in the olive oil. Put some olive oil on the top so it doesn't dry out. And then take your bowl, cover it, and just leave it for 10 minutes. Go and have a cup of tea. So you see at the minute the surface is quite rough, but the next time we have a look at it, it'll be super duper smooth and ready to make into balls. So all you gotta do now is just leave it 10 or 15 minutes. So here we are, back 10 minutes later. You can see that the dough is now nice and smooth. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give it one more turn, so a bit of olive oil in your hands again. And just lift it up. And then just gently turn it. You can see that the surface now is really smooth. The magic of time has made the gluten for you. It's super smooth. So I'm just going to put a little bit more olive oil on so it doesn't dry out. I'm going to leave it for another 10 minutes and then we're going to make the balls. So finish your tea. So here we are again. So if you look now, the dough is super smooth, and we're now ready to make the dough balls. And this is the important stage. Making the dough balls is critical to making the perfect pizza. So get your weighing scales out, put a little bit of olive oil on it so nothing sticks, and then put some olive oil on your hand, and then just stretch out a little bit your dough. And I'm going to make 200 gram dough balls. So, best to chop little triangles rather than strips. It's easier to turn into a dough ball. So, you want 200 grams. Amazing, 205 grams. That's perfect. So, take your dough, put it on the table, and this is the easiest way to make a dough ball. So, just pull the corners in, like so. Pull everything into the middle. And what you don't want any air spaces basically. You don't want any air inside the dough ball, because that air basically translates into a thin spot in your pizza base. So just pull all the corners in, like so, and then flip it over, and then just give it a little twist. You'll see that it's super smooth. Make sure that bottom is closed. And then you want to get a tin. I think this was from where was this from? Aldi or something. Put a little bit of semolina into your tin. I would use a tin with a sort of high sides, otherwise when you put the cling film over it and your dough balls start to rise, they're all going to stick to it. So get your dough ball, check it's all nicely sealed. Put it in your tin. Have another go. This should make 5 200 gram dough balls. So that's a bit big. 218. Chop a bit off. 198. That's good enough. If you notice, I'm keeping the top. This is the top. I'm going to keep the top. Well, the top is now on the bottom. But when I fold it over, the top of the dough ball, or the top of this, is the top of the dough ball, if you know what I mean. So just pull it all into the middle, squeeze it, make sure there's no air in it. Make sure there's no air in it. Flip it over and just give it a little shimmy, make it nice and round. Done. Another one. So yeah, this is a kilo of dough. So 200 grams, you should make 5 pizzas. 160 grams. So 179. Terrible. 200 grams exactly. So take your dough, again place it on the table and just pull the corners in. Pull the corners and sides into the middle. This is a critical bit. If you don't make the dough balls, then it's going to be really hard to make the final pizza. So you've got to make really nice, neat, round dough balls. 200 grams. See, no air in there. That's 3. Hopefully I should get 2 more. Looks a bit close. 176. 93. 200. So again, put it down, pull the corners in. Pull the corners and sides in. Make sure there's no air in it. If you made the dough right, it's not sticky. It's not sticky at all. Look at that, perfect. That's 4, hopefully. The last one, 190 grams. Not far off, one was about 5 or 6 grams over, so 190 grams is alright. Put it out a bit, pull the corners in, pull the sides in. Make a little balloon. What you want is to try and make the whole dough ball smooth and with no air in it. Give it a little shimmy. Perfect. 5 200 gram dough balls. So cover it with cling film. Cover it with cling film, and now if you leave these out, and it's warm like it is today, it's 20 odd degrees today in Canterbury. If you leave them out, these will be ready in maybe 3 or 4 hours. But since it's only 11 o'clock, I'm going to leave them out just to start fermenting, just for about an hour or something, maybe 2 hours. And then I'm going to put them in the fridge to slow it down. And then I'm going to take them out because I want pizzas about 7 o'clock. So I'm going to take them out of the fridge probably 3 hours before I want to use them to make them fully prove. If you leave them out now, they'll be massive by 7 o'clock tonight. So just leave them out for a few hours. Check that they're fermenting nicely or proving nicely, and then put them in the fridge for about 3 hours before you need them. Everything's temperature dependent. In the winter time, you can leave them out all day because it's cold usually in our house anyway. But when it's hot like today, if you leave them out on the table, they're just going to go crazy and ferment. So that's the dough balls. We'll come back later and I'll show you how to make the pizzas. So see you about 6 o'clock. So here we are about an hour in since I made the dough balls, and you can see that they're starting to puff up and get really big. If I leave them out now for the rest of the day, they'll be climbing out of the tin by 7 o'clock. So I'm going to put them in the fridge now, and by about 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. I'll take them out and let them finish off proving. So you've got to be careful in hot weather, otherwise they'll just overprove and it'll make it really difficult to make the pizza. So after about an hour and a half, after you've made the dough balls, put them back in the fridge. I'll put them in the fridge. Just slows everything down. Okay, Tom, so it's now 4:30 and the dough is looking amazing. Probably another hour or so and it'll be absolutely perfect. It's risen really nicely, full of air. First, we're going to chop up the ingredients. You've got to get one of these. It's about 12 quid from Amazon. Just to put all your ingredients in. It's the best. You look the real pro. So grated parmesan first, and then you want to get some mozzarella. You can use that mozzarella that comes in a fior di latte, the one that comes in milk in the packet. But if you get that, you've got to drain it and dry it. Otherwise, your pizza will be like a swimming pool with all the milk that comes out of it. So if you can get it, I would get this. It's like I don't know, it's like a cooking mozzarella, I suppose. It's for pizzas. You get it from Waitrose, of course, and it's already dry, so it won't flood your pizza with milk. And you get more as well. So what you want to do is just chop it into squares, really, or strips. It's up to you. You can use the grated stuff, but it's got cornstarch in it, the grated stuff, grated mozzarella. And if you use that, the cornstarch burns really quickly in the pizza oven. So you're better to either use a fior di latte or this. It's up to you. Usually do like a bit of onion. Just chop it super thin as you can, otherwise it won't cook properly. More than enough. I add a tomato. Making the tomato sauce. Myself a bowl. And the best stuff you can get is this muti, peeled plum tomatoes. That's what I use anyway. The reason I use this is it's really thick and there's no crappy ingredients in it either. So some of them are too watery and they make your pizza soggy. So these muti ones are best, and what I do is blend them. You're not supposed to, you're supposed to just crush them with your hand. But your kids are like my kids, and they see a tomato, they won't eat it. So better to blend it up with a bit of sea salt, some olive oil, and that's it. And just blend it up. So one tin should be more than enough. smooth. And that's it. Just make whatever ingredients you want. I've got a bit of cured ham. This is ham without any crap in it, supposedly. So nice bit of ham. No sulfates. Sulfates. And a little bit of Italian salami. Can't have pizza without salami. The good thing about this ingredient holder is that it fits in the fridge. Probably fit in your huge fridge. So, that's it. Ingredients ready. Try a bit of cheese. Nice. Parmesan, mozzarella, onion, ham, salami, and tomato. Okay, Tom. This is where it gets serious. This is where we're going to make the pizzas. So look at the dough balls, are perfect. Look at the size of them. Probably a little bit overproved, but good enough. Right, here's the tricky bit. You've got to get your dough ball out of the tray. So, fine semolina is your friend. So, cut and cut. So, under. Try and keep it as round as possible. Get a plate, dunk it onto a plate with some fine semolina on. Turn it over. Now this is the top, remember? This is the top, and the top's going to stay on the top. Look at the air in this, it's incredible. Look, it's just full of air. Flip it over. Plenty of semolina. If you've got a big bubble like that, just pop it, otherwise it'll just burn anyway. So, take it out, and now you just press the crust, flip it over, press the crust. Now this is still the top, remember this is the top. And here's the tricky bit, you put your hand here, you pull it, you put it down, you pull it, you put it down, pull it, you put it down, and then just pick it up, give it a little stretch with your hands, not your feet, move this flour away, stretch it to about 10 inches, done. Right, tomato, don't spill tomato everywhere. Any water now or tomato that you spill around this area is going to make a pizza stick. So don't get everywhere, don't let the kids do it. There you go. Sprinkle of parmesan. Cubes of mozzarella. Not too much actually, don't go crazy with it because you don't need a lot. Should be enough. Chop this cheese a bit big, but anyway. onions. And a bit of ham. Julia, trying to film it. What are you doing? Right, Julia comes in and runs the tap. So, a bit of olive oil. This is going to be a ham and cheese pizza. So the next thing, your peel. What you want to do is just flick a bit of semolina onto your peel, pinch it like so, and slide it under, and then just make your pizza a little bit bigger, like so. Maybe even add another bit of cheese. Right, let's go to the pizza oven. Right, here we are. Pizza oven's on.
It's pizza night.
Open the door. No, it doesn't matter. Not that door, that door.
This one with my hand.
With your foot. Look with your hand.
Oh my god, that's heavy.
Right. On. Right, put it back on. Exactly. Right, just leave that there. Let's have a look. Little peephole in your woody. I'm going to open that straight away because it is boiling already. So look, it's almost done. In fact, I need to turn the oven down a little bit. It's going to be done too fast. Turn the dial to about 7 o'clock. Right, let's take it out. Spin it around. First pizza always comes out a bit crap because you've got to fiddle around with the temperature a little bit. Next one will be better. That's it, it's done. It's a little bit burnt. But that was the first one. I need to turn it down a little bit. But looks good. Let's have another one. Right, pizza number 2. Put your flour back. Okay. Some fine semolina around the dough ball. Cut it. And then you'll try your best to get it out still looking round. Dunk it on your semolina, make it round, flip it over, a little press onto the table. So you press the air to the crust, flip it over, press it again, flip it over, so this is the top, remember? So you're just pushing the air into the crust. Then right hand, 2, 3, 4, so you've done 180 degrees, and then just lift it up and stretch it with your hands. Move the flour out of the way. Dunk it down. Pop any big bubbles. Sauce. 2, 3 spoons. Maybe 4 spoons. Parmesan cheese. If you want now, now's the time to put some oregano onto the tomato if you like oregano. Kids don't usually like it, but I like it. Put some oregano, put it on the tomato and it won't burn. So, mozzarella mozzarella cubes. Oh, one for the cat. I think I chopped these a bit big. Amateur. Should have done smaller cubes, but they'll still melt. So that's mozzarella. A few onions. Oh, I forgot I was going to do some peppers. Idiot. And a bit of salami on there. I'll do. A bit of cheese. A bit of olive oil. Get your pizza peel. A little bit of semolina. Pinch the front. Slide it under. Stretch it out a little bit. Right, let's head off to the oven again. That's the second turn. Let's turn it again. Crust is looking good. Cheese, a little bit burnt, but not bad. So here's one of the pizzas. It was difficult to film and operate the oven at the same time. So here's what they look like afterwards. This is cooled down, of course. So it's got a nice crust, a bit burnt there, but the underside is perfect. I'm going to eat a bit. So hopefully that was helpful. Tom, if you've got any questions, give us a shout, and good luck. You're going to need some practice, mate. See you later. Bye.